Hello and welcome to a Bookmas Day 4. I tried to film this last night and it just wasn't going right. Couldn't get words out, my makeup didn't look good, so we are back here today in the morning. I realized I can't film at night. It's just I'm tired and I can't do it. So, today's already good, my makeup went on great, so we're just gonna get started with this video. So, today is going to be my top favorites of 2019. I was gonna only do 10, but then I realized when I was making my list that there's 12. So, and these aren't gonna be in any sort of order. It's kind of just I have my stack right here, and then whatever is on top is just what I'm gonna pick first. So, yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to really go much into detail because I have already talked about it, I think twice already this week, is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. Like I said, this is a Mulan meets, it was like a Mulan meets something else, and I don't remember what the something else was. I really did like this book. I have the sequel on NetGalley. I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm still trying to finish Heart of Flames. But yeah, we read this I think in June and we got through it pretty fast. I mean, it is kind of like a smaller book, but definitely pick this up if you haven't. The next book I'm going to talk about, I'm also not going to go into a bunch of detail because we've just talked about it a couple of times, is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palprado. I'm just going to... So this is about Veronica and the Phoenix Riders and how Veronica just wants to become a Phoenix Rider. But getting to that point is really hard. And one of the things I really like about this is there is kind of a love interest, but it's not like bam in your face. And also there is I love the sibling relationship that's in here, and it goes a lot deeper in Heart of Flames, so definitely pick this one if you haven't. I really love mine because I have the Owl Crate version and purple is my favorite color, so that's also a plus. So the next book we are going to talk about is one of the authors that I have met, and that is Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I love her. She is so nice. She was so funny. We saw her in Dallas, so we had a little road trip getaway weekend with my friend, and it was really nice. I went to the book signing for Kingsbane. I have not read that one yet, and I need to, but also the third book doesn't come out until fall of 2020, so I have some time. But this is about our two protagonists are Riel and Eliana, and they are one of them is either the Blood Queen and the other one is the Sun Queen, but they don't know who is who. And they are both set like 1,000 years apart, so Riel is in the past and Eliana is now. And Eliana is not quite sure about everything. She has more of like a slow progress into figuring out who she is. And Riel kind of already knows that she is destined to be one of these queens. And it's her figuring out that she is one, but she's not. She's also the other one. So this is really good. There is just a disclaimer, if there is, because I have to do this with my aunt because she's very picky on what my cousin reads. There is a steamy scene. There's a steamy chapter in this. So the next book that we are going to be talking about is one of those books that is either you liked it or you don't liked it. It's like you either liked it or you didn't. And that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Marin. I am one of those people who loved it. I just like how shiny it is. I got this from the Bookish box. So Bookish box usually comes with like a different cover because I did Red Skulls of Magic had a different one, but this is the cover for it. I keep it on it, but for the sake of this video I took it off just so you can see the cover or the original cover. But this is about a girl and a guy named Luis and Reed, and Luis is a witch and Reed is a witch hunter. I like this one a lot because also the romance isn't shoved in your face. If I want to read a romance shoved in your face, I would go read a contemporary, not a fantasy. It has good character development, and it has a good relationship and a friendship story, which I am a big sucker for friendship stories. This book is a roller coaster of emotions, and a lot of books and fantasy are that, so if you Next books we're really going to talk about, I'm going to keep as one category, and that is the Folk of Air series by Holly Black. I am still like flabbergasted that I read all 3 of these in 1 year, which doesn't happen a lot, but luckily luckily because I met Holly Black in January for The Wicked King, and then I just met her a couple of weeks ago in November for The Queen of Nothing, because The Queen of Nothing wasn't supposed to be out yet. This wasn't supposed to come out until next year, but luckily they were luckily able to get it out sooner, which thank God, because this is like one of the best series that you could ever read. I was real hesitant into getting into The Cruel Prince just because I read Tiff and I wasn't a big fan, so I was just like, okay, I probably won't like this author, but I'm glad my friend pushed me into it, because the prologue of The Cruel Prince is so good and so like, holy crap, that you just want to keep reading just from the prologue. So this series, we have our 2 main characters. We have Jude and Carden, and Jude is a mortal who her parents get murdered by her father, and is brought back to the fairy world, and you know, fairies and mortals, you know, they don't really get along very much, and so all of the fairies are just picking on Jude. What we're going to talk about is a book that I really loved, which is why it's on this list, but I could not ever think of the name of it, and that is The Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. I just, for the life of me, could not think of this book name when I was reading it or whenever I was talking about it with my friend. So I'm like, I called it The Salt Book. I'm like, it's The Salt Book. That's what it is. So this is another like fairy tale Little Mermaid retelling. I plan on making a Little Mermaid video, because if you've been watching, especially this week, I really do love Little Mermaid retellings, and I have a couple of them. And then, so I think I'm going to do that, but so I don't think I'm going to go into much detail with this book, because I want to save it for that. This is a girl about Anna Lee and her family, and they live by the sea and are just having a good old time until their mom dies. The older sisters also just like start dying off, and no one knows why. A lot of the townfolk call them cursed, and the dad, you know, is also like, just, he's trying to get over it, but he's doing it like in one of those like aggressive ways. You know, there's a new stepmom, and girls are trying to be good to her. Anna Lee kind of has like a rocky relationship. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not. I really did like this one. This was the August Owl Crate book. My subscription, actually, I didn't renew it, but I did renew another 3 months just for this book, because I loved all the like mermaidy things that came in that book that month. So yeah, pick this up if you haven't. So the next book I have is kind of wonky, because Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. So we got this in Owl Crate and in Fairy Loot in the same month, but I liked how the Fairy Loot had the like blue like sparkles, but the Owl Crate was purple, so I switched them. So this is about a girl named Elizabeth, and this book is like a really popular, especially in the booktube and like book community, because it is set as the library setting, and you know, as book people love library setting kind of books. So this is her, and she has grown up in this library, and she knows that things are a little bit different in this library, and there's a lot of sorcery going on, and she gets mixed up in some adventures that she wasn't supposed to. And this one also has like a really good like sidekick for her, that like she has this friend who's like stays by her this whole time, doesn't waver. And this was like probably my #1, because every time there is a like poll or something, or to like pick this book, I always pick this book. It's one of those books I kind of just picked up. I wasn't really, I heard nothing about it, and I just kind of liked it, and that is Heroine by Mindy Miggins. I read this, and I also listened to the audiobook. It took me a while to read it, because there was just times when I was like, I wouldn't pick it up, and then I would devour it. Also, the voice actor for this, we are like friends on like Instagram and Twitter now, and she is the best. Her name is Brittany Presley, and she has the most like magical voice, and every time I hear her, I immediately know that it's her now, because she's in so many YA books, and she does this one, and she also does American Royals. I haven't read that one yet, but I'm really excited to get into that one. And Mickey, and she is involved in a car accident with her friend, and she is a softball player and she can't play, and so she gets hooked on Oxycontin and slowly just gets more into addiction, and she starts getting addicted to heroin. This is a sad book. Like, it has its moments, but this is a tough read. Like, it's good. It is a book about addiction and overcoming it, and if you can, if you can't, and just even the cover is just like, it's so good. I like my little stack that's forming. So the last book that we were going to talk about is a book that I really loved, and I really wanted an art for the sequel, but NetGalley denied me, but it's fine. I think it was one of those things where it's just there's too many people want it, and so I just took too long. So we have so this book is based in Russia, and the names are very hard, but that is Wicked Sayings by Emily A. Duncan. And I would have not gotten through this book if it wasn't for the audiobook. This is also the Owl Crate version, which I love it better because I love dark and spooky things. But it's basically about Nadia and two other characters. We have a prince and a monster. I'm pretty sure I think, okay, was Machias? I can't remember if Seraphin, okay, I got it. Seraphin is the prince and Machias is the monster. I'm pretty sure. I also read so many books that sometimes I forget what books are about, but like, I know I liked it. But yes, this is a book about them three, and so this is about them three and them just trying to get through their lives. There's a lot of stuff happening, especially with Nadia is different from Seraphin, and she goes and tries to pretend that she is the same just so she doesn't get in trouble, and it's captivating, like, especially, but this is one of those, definitely recommend reading this with the audiobook or just the audiobook, because it'll definitely help you with names and pronunciations and just everything about it. Like, a lot of books, like the audiobook just makes it a whole lot better, and that's one of these. So that is it for today. Thank you for coming to Bookmas Day 4. Really having fun with these. I like that I'm doing this. It's only day 4 and I'm still like, wow, we still have a long way to go. So like, subscribe, comment below if you have read any of these books, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.